can't argue with you. No, you mad. Look at you. You mad. You big mad. I'm happy. Leave me alone. I just want some money.
Hey y'all, what's good? What's up, y'all? Oh man, I know this is a surprise live. I did not plan to go live today, but hey, why not, right? Hold on. I'm just trying to set something up behind the scenes real quick. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn the music back on just for a second. Just give me a second. Okay, let's see who we got up in here. Hey, John, what's up? Hey, Maddie, I haven't seen you in a little bit. What's good? And where is everybody at? Because y'all not getting ready to tell me y'all busy. Mm-mm. Yes, they are. We're gonna watch a video and just chit chat for a little bit, and that's gonna be that. I'm just trying to set this up, seeing as though I did not have it scheduled. I'm trying to get my little title in here for later for those on the replay crew. Uh, hold on. I'm so sorry. I don't even know what I want to title this. I'll just leave it like this for now, and if I think of something else, I'll change it. Oh, goodness gracious. Hey, Joanna, how are you? All right, let's dive in. Y'all know I don't like long intros, so let's dive in and then I will check on y'all in a little bit. We are watching, I don't know what day this is. I think this is day 11, but I'm using Mushmouth Joe's content and I think the way he edited it, it's the days don't really match up, but I'm not going to complain because he did all the hard work for us. So, you know, we're gonna use what we got. So on here it says trial day 8, but I believe it is trial day 11, and this is the day that Officer Rebecca Carpenter testifies, along with another officer, and then the officer who transported him to Muskego um, jail. So we're gonna watch that and do what we do best on here. Okay. So let me share this screen. Yeah, that's right, John. You're right. I mean, y'all pop in when y'all want. I ain't complaining at all. So everybody will come when they want to come. And it's always available for replay. So let me share this. Let's see. And get started.
I believe I already told the jury it is received or was received subject to further testimony. So I don't know that I need to tell them again that it's received. And it would be my inclination to just simply let it be. We've noted it outside the presence of the jury, but that's how I intend to handle that.
Agreed. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. I believe all of our jurors, well, they're all back, of course, but they're ready to go. And so when we bring them out, the state should be prepared to call the next witness. Okay, very good. Then bring the jury out, please.
You ain't called that name that you started with.
What's your name?
Brooks.
And I called the case. I actually didn't specifically refer to you, but I did say State versus Brooks. But in any event, your objection is noted for the record, and we'll continue with testimony.
Will you be addressing subject matter jurisdiction? Is that a judicial determination not to answer, Your Honor? So is that a tacit agreement?
All right.
Subject matter jurisdiction has yet to be proven for the record.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. State have the next witness, please.
Thank you. The state calls Officer Rebecca Carpenter.
Thank you. Please be seated. The first thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and spell each.
Rebecca, Rebecca, Carpenter, Carpenter.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Officer, how are you employed?
On the day of the parade, I was working a shift for the Village of Big Bend Police Department, sir.
Is that who still employs you?
Yes.
Anybody else?
Yes, I'm also a patrol officer for the town of East Troy, and I'm the assistant chief for the Village of Eagle.
How many years have you spent in law enforcement?
I was appointed to the Milwaukee Police Department in March of 1991.
And when did you come out here to the Waukesha County jurisdictions that you mentioned?
I retired from the Milwaukee Police Department as a sergeant in November of 2017, and the first department I got into policing again with was the town of East Troy in May of 2018.
You already made reference to the parade. Were you working on duty as a law enforcement officer on November 21st of 2021?
Yes, sir, I was.
Overruled. And you may answer.
Yes, I was.
Were you aware that day that the Waukesha Christmas parade was taking place?
Actually, I was not.
Did you at some point become aware that there was a parade in downtown Waukesha?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. You may
Yes.
answer.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, I did.
How did you go about learning that information?
I heard over the radio channel that Big Bend monitors, which is not the same radio channel that the parade was on. I heard a broadcast that there had been shots fired.
What did you do in response to hearing that broadcast?
In response to that particular broadcast, I started paying closer attention.
And then what happened?
Squads on my channel, which is a Waukesha County channel, started to say that they were placing injured people in the backs of their squads and driving them to the hospital, which is a highly unusual circumstance.
What did you do when you learned that information?
I started driving toward downtown Waukesha.
Did you get there?
I did.
What happened then?
Initially, I went to the parade route. I talked to a few people around injured people and determined that I wasn't really able to be of help there because they were all back injuries, and I can't, in a squad, I can't help with that.
So what did you do next?
I answered a call on the radio that said there was a man going door to door on Elizabeth Street asking to use people's phones to call an Uber.
Did you go to look for that man?
I did.
Where did you go?
I responded to Elizabeth Street, and I parked my squad on Elizabeth and West.
Where did you go from there?
I got out and partnered up with two other officers, and we decided that we would walk the street and look for this person.
Were you wearing a body-worn camera at the time?
Yes, sir, I was.
Where was that device affixed to your person?
The control.
So have y'all noticed that, like, at the beginning of the trial, the first couple of witnesses, I think it was Corey, Erica, another officer, goodness, who else, y'all? Some other people, I can't remember right now, but the very beginning of the trial, he had no problem looking anybody in the eye. He barely paid attention to any of his discovery. He didn't read reports until it was his turn to cross-examine or anything like that. But then when you started getting to like Detective Carpenter, this lady, Officer Carpenter, Detective Casey, Officer Schultz, the handsome beard guy, officer, he had no time for them. And I'm assuming that um, he was trying to follow along with their testimony to see if it matched up with the reports that he had, and then he used that as his questioning because he didn't give a damn before. Did anybody else point that out or see that, or am I tripping? Y'all let me know.
Control box was on my chest, and the particular model of body-worn camera that I was wearing had a lens that I was wearing affixed to my collar.
Your Honor, let the record reflect that the witness has held up her right hand in a circle and pointed it towards about her collarbone, her right collarbone.
The record will so reflect.
Was that device also equipped with a microphone?
Objection
Yes.
leading.
Overruled.
Yes, sir.
And that microphone was synced up with the video?
Yes, sir.
Do you know whether your device was activated as you were walking down Elizabeth Street that afternoon?
Objection.
It was.
Overruled, and her answer may stand.
May we please display for the witness only exhibit number 80? All right, we played 6 seconds. Do you recognize that video?
I do.
What is it?
It is my body camera video of walking down Elizabeth Street.
From November 21st?
Objection leading.
I will overrule it, and the answer may stand.
Does this video and the associated audio accurately reflect what happened that night as you saw it?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Yes, sir.
Then move exhibit 80 into evidence and ask to publish.
Objection. Relatively seen.
Overruled. Exhibit 80 is received. Permission to publish is granted. For the record, please tell me the total length.
Hey, Olivia, haven't seen you in so long. I hope you're doing well. I am going to cover the OJ trial. God, I don't know when because I got a lot of trials on my list, but that will be coming up soon. And it is one of the wildest trials I've ever seen. Also, there's so much footage and so much to go over, but I do have the case files for that. So we'll be doing that soon. And I don't know too much. I don't know if I want to do Casey Anthony or not, but definitely OJ. But it's good to see you, girl.
It is a 5-minute video.
Thank you. Go ahead.
We will start at the beginning. We're going to play it with audio, and we will pause at certain points, and I'll point out the timestamps when we pause. So we'll start from the beginning, please.
Big Ben. Robert 277. What's up?
Uh-oh.
Hands up! Put your hands where I can see them. Put your hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Do it now! Hey. Taking one of the hospitals for a plan here.
Not him yelling, "What did I do?" What I really want to know is, now he was in a car driving. They only saw the hoodie, his face, maybe a peek of the shirt, right? Why did he have to take his shoes off? They didn't see the shoes, right? So you just walking around with no no shoes on, as if those were going to be identifiers for you. Furthermore, Darrell, you told Officer Detective Carpenter that they threw you up in the air and it was boom, boom. I don't see a boom, boom. He's so quick to lie and talking about what did I do? What did I do? He was so banking on this officer not having that body cam. And I just love her. I love a kick ass female cop. Okay. I love it.
We paused at 53 seconds. A few.
Why he got his arms spread out like they hung him on the cross? No respect to God at all. I'm just saying, look at him, y'all. This man.
Moments earlier in the video, we saw what appeared to be a handgun. Does that sound right to you?
Oh.
Who was the person holding that handgun?
Wait. He did lose one on the fence. I forgot that. You're right. He did lose one on the fence. Oh, hey, Debbie. Excuse me, y'all. Hey, Sherry. Oh, welcome to a live. You never get to make any of my lives. I'm so happy to see you. Oh, boom, boom. Oh, my goodness. I forgot all about him losing one on a doggone fence. And then didn't he have one or something? I don't know. What a hot ass mess. Right. And knocking on people's doors. Talking about, can I use the phone? I got $40 on my Cash App card. And then you telling people that you homeless. So you homeless with $40 on your Cash App card. Where you finna get the Uber to if you homeless? Like, that don't make sense. That makes absolutely no sense to me. This dude. I cannot. Hey, Jason. Oh, hey, Sonia. Thank you so much. Y'all, I probably even shouldn't be laughing like this, but I'm just thinking about when he was in that hospital talking about they ain't have to slam me like that. I mean, they took me in the air and was like, boom, boom. Dude, really? You would be more banged up than what you were complaining to be talking about some boom, boom. Oh my God. And not jumping over the fence. Like your ass was literally on the run for real, for real. Oh, you right. He left it with that hoodie. Oh my God, my chest hurt. I'm laughing so hard. Right, where he going? Where is he going? Like he didn't think that through. I swear, like he was in such a panic. Oh God, I said it so many times. If whoever didn't call the police in the time that they did, this fool would have got back to Milwaukee, y'all. His mama probably was already planning what she was gonna do with his tail. I'm telling y'all. If he had stayed at that building a little bit longer, that Uber driver would have got him back home to his mommy, and that would have been that for a little bit. Oh God. Boom, boom.
Me.
And who were, well, let's see, let me strike that. I want to direct your attention to the top right corner of the screen here. There appears to be some type of timestamp. Do you see that?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. I do, yes.
Do you know if that is an accurate military timestamp?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
That does not accurately reflect the time it occurred, no.
So it was not 11 p.m. at the time this video was recording.
Objection, leading.
Oh, sustained as to the form of the question.
Do you know approximately what time it was that this video was recorded?
I know that I initially began to respond to the scene at about 20 minutes to 5. I would be guessing about how much time elapsed, but I would say it wasn't more than a half hour or 40 minutes to this point.
The person who was depicted in the video at this point, at 53 seconds, describe where in the video you first saw that person.
Objection, leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
I first saw him standing on the porch.
And what, if anything, did you see that person doing when you first saw him?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
He appeared to be rather agitated.
Why do you say that?
Objection, leading.
Overruled. It's not leading.
Y'all see how she side-eyed Judge Zorro? Now, I know somebody had asked me before, is there a limit on the number of objections a lawyer or a pseudo-lawyer, if you will, can make? And the answer is no, but it's still so obnoxious. And we all know he was just doing that to throw everybody off and irritate them. Any little thing that they said or did, he wanted to try to just make it so if I aggravate you enough, you're going to say the wrong thing or you're going to get upset with me and violate my rights. Okay. Just, hey, Maya girl, how you doing? I think he thought that. I think he thought that. I think he thought that. I think that it- with his mom being able to get him out of trouble so many times, he just knew that she could come through for him again. He just didn't realize that it was already enough evidence against him. You know, you're at a parade. We live in an age now where everybody's recording everything. You have businesses that have surveillance aerial and in front of the businesses. And so everybody's recording, so they already have you, on their phones or whatever device they're using to record. Not to mention, Detective Casey had already made eye contact with you and enough to where he could identify you anywhere at this point. But in his mind, he felt like, okay, y'all know, I put my hair up, I take this hoodie off. They didn't see what I had underneath. If I could just get away really quickly, they don't know me. I'm not from here. I'm going to hurry up and call my mom. That's the first thing he thought to do. Let me call my mom so she can get me out of this. And she's so trifling. She like, all right, even though she know he had the car and he did what he did, she's just like, okay, I'm going to protect my baby. So I really, truly believe that had he gotten that Uber and once that Uber found a way to get away from that parade and get him back to Milwaukee, that's it, you know? Um, and I mean, we all know the police would have been able to find him eventually, but I still believe that Dawn would have helped him get somewhere where it would have taken the police a great deal of time to find him. Additionally, like I said before, since he knew, okay, I'm arrested now or detained, let me play up this injury so that I can get to the hospital and create another lie so that, either he'll have a civil rights case because he's trying to lie and say that they injured me, or I can feign this injury so that, you know, what did he say, 6 weeks for MRI or whatever lie he was trying to come up with. If I stay here long enough, then maybe they'll start looking at other people and think that it's somebody else drove through the parade and not me. Just a dummy. Yep, he sure did, Sherry. Sherry, you be telling it like it is, okay? He does. He did. He did, and think about it, y'all, like, I can't remember the officer's name, but, I mean, he already shot at the car, that didn't stop him. He was out of gas, right? Isn't that why he stopped, if I remember correctly? And the car banged up. So, I mean, he knew he couldn't drive it for long, they're gonna be able to easily identify the car, it's all banged up with bullet holes in it. So yeah, he had a plan. He was quick on his feet, and his mom was as well. I do that all the time. Yeah, I don't think he would have got very far, but he definitely would have tried to run. But he got connects in Nevada and Georgia. So it ain't no telling. Like, a criminal is gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way to do what they gotta do. So it ain't no telling, what he could have came up with in that little bit of time that he had. Listen, Sherry, this is therapeutic for a lot of us, and we don't know why. Okay. So much so that when I tried to do another case, y'all wasn't feeling that. Okay. So I got to come back and give y'all what y'all want and still do me. So, look, this is our weekly therapy over here. We laugh. We're not laughing at the victims or anything like that, but we're just laughing at Darrell Brooks. He is therapeutic for us all. Don't be ashamed, Olivia. Please don't. No. No. And whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? It's law enforcement and his bald-headed mama. Well, his mom knew he drove through the parade, so she knew it was tore up because if you remember, she called 911. So she knew that he didn't have the truck anymore. I honestly believe that she would have just let him come back in the house. I also believe that she is the one that told the nephew not to comply with the police. And that's why he just didn't cooperate. And Darrell was just able to get just charged with the GUN charge. But I believe that she would have sat them down and been like, look, he got to sit in his house, sleep in his house for a little bit till I figure something out. And that would have been it. I really believe that. You not, we all are. You think so, John? You are a mess. Oh, I don't know. But let's think about who his connections are. So you got old girl in Nevada. I don't know of anybody else. I never seen anybody else mentioning any of the paperwork that I read. I believe between her and his mama, they would have worked something out. They would have worked something out. I'm telling you, I really believe that. Hey, I'm gonna just call you Shy because I just messed your name up. Probably so. I think he was very embarrassed, and I would be too. My own uncle, you know, try to put the paws on me, powing at me, and my friend, I would be embarrassed. And not to mention the fact that everybody that's associated with him now were probably targets. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that. Hey, how you doing? Welcome. Probably not. Probably not. Nobody came to speak on his behalf. His own mother didn't even have anything good to say about him at the sentencing. But I'm just thinking, I just thought about, like Nevada, maybe old girl in Nevada, she probably would have kept him housed and hidden for a little bit. You never know. You never know. Yeah. I think Don told him to shut his mouth. I do.
Leading, you may answer.
He was moving back and forth on the porch and gesturing.
Do you recall what you were wearing that evening?
I do.
What?
The exact same set of clothing that I'm wearing today.
Including long sleeves?
Yes.
Objection, leading.
Overruled.
Did this person, depicted at 53 seconds, draw your attention in any way based on what he was wearing?
Yes.
Why?
It was chilly out, lower 40s, upper 30s, and he was in a t-shirt, jogging pants, and no shoes.
We can resume playing here at 53 seconds, please.
It's still more right. You got something with your name on it, man? No. Okay, Les. Cooperate with us. Okay. Okay.
Paused at 1 minute and 4 seconds. What did we see in that portion of the video?
That was a sandwich.
Where did that sandwich come from?
His
What kind of sandwich y'all think that was? Was it PBJ or like ham and cheese or what y'all thinking? And I want to know, did they let him eat his sandwich? Did he get to eat the sandwich or did they throw it away? Or was it a part of his property? What y'all, what y'all thinking? Let me see who up in here. Uh-oh, my boo here. Let me tell y'all something about Fee. She don't play about me, y'all. Okay? And when she come in here, she ain't tolerating no foolishness from nobody. So if it's any trolls up in here, y'all better tread lightly, okay? Hey, boo. Hey, Naya girl. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Oh, Olivia. Four sizes too big, musty, dusty. You know what I just thought about with that? Like when they finally brought him into the room to be interrogated, he still had on them musty, dusty clothes with them funky socks that he done walked all through the neighborhood with. I would have asked, can I take my socks off and can y'all give me some Crocs or something? Ugh. Ugh. Egg salad sandwich. Bologna. Did it have mustard on it? Oh, it don't make him flinch one bit, Sherry. He done told us that. It don't make him flinch one bit. The system is corrupt. We all against him. He ain't even did nothing. Free him. He ain't did nothing. The sandwich, period. Okay. Okay, Fee. I'm so glad to see you, sis. Light mayo on a little Swiss. Did it have romaine lettuce on it or iceberg? Or did Daniel Ryder not have enough time to get that far? It better be. It better. Oh, I'm just saying, I just know them toes. Like, could you imagine? So, like you driving through this parade. I know every crevice in his body was sweating. Uh-oh, did my headphones go out? I don't know. Every crevice in his body was sweating, especially in between them funky toes. And you just walking all in the hospital, all outside, all everywhere. It's a lot of people that do that. A lot of people just wear socks and slippers. Look, he didn't have time to all y'all listen. Okay, y'all talking trash about Darrell. He didn't have time to go in there and clean up and do all that. He had to hurry up and go meet Erica. She had a couple of dollars for him. His mother gave him his lunch money. He got to go. He had to hurry up and go. He ain't had time to do all this stuff y'all talking about. Ah! Oh, y'all crazy. Yes, busted, dusted, and can't be trusted. He probably did. Mr. Ryder is so sweet. He got to be careful though, because he can't do this no more. But he probably did. He probably was like, I'm so sorry you homeless, you cold. Here go a jacket. Do you want ham and Swiss? I got, like y'all said, egg salad. You want a PBJ? Would you like it toasted and sliced? How would you like it toasted? Well or just lightly toasted? Do you prefer, Dijon mustard or a little mayo? I got a little balsamic vinaigrette to go on the spinach for you. You know, you know. You know what, Debbie? Somebody else said that, and I said that, and of course, everybody goes off on me. All right. I don't know if the man's hurt. Look, I don't know if his shoulder was hurt or not. I don't think it probably was hurting, but not to the degree that he said it was hurting. I don't know. We'll never know. But it could have been. I mean, he was bankhead bouncing, driving through that parade. So it ain't no telling. You never know. Was it toasted? And what kind of bread you had? Oh, my stomach already hurt and my chest hurt. Not Opie. Oh God, I've had enough of y'all. I have had enough. I can't laugh no more. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. It could have been. I don't think he was either. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go back and watch the video, but we know the car was moving up and down, so it could have been, you never know. He's running over kids and instruments. I don't know. And I know Fee about to tear me up because we giving Darrell too much over here. Okay, so let's move on.
His right pants pocket.
The subject on the ground is.
Yes, sir.
Please resume at 104.
277. What's your
We paused at 1 minute and 14 seconds. Did you at some point ask the subject depicted in the video at 114 to identify himself by name?
Go ahead.
I did.
What was that person's response?
He identified himself as Darrell Brooks.
Do you see Mr. Brooks in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you point him out for us by telling us where he's sitting and what he's wearing?
He is seated at the defense table wearing a dark colored suit and striped tie and a mask over his face.
Just to be thorough, Your Honor, could we please have Mr. Brooks remove his mask momentarily?
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. Go ahead.
Now that Mr. Brooks has removed his mask, does that change anything about your testimony today?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
What's your name?
Brooks.
That's Darrell Brooks.
Could we please play from 114?
Hey, dude.
There's multiple units. David 216 out to 10.
What is your name?
Brooks.
Paused at 1 minute and 23 seconds. Sitting on the witness stand today, do you acknowledge that Mr. Brooks has a short haircut?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
What is your name?
Sustain this to the form of the question, please.
How would you describe Mr. Brooks's haircut today?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Brooks.
Sir, I understand your objection. Please do.
Do y'all see the way this officer looking at Judge Darrell up and down? Because she fed up. She is fed up like the rest of us. Baby, why you conducting your courtroom like this? What y'all over here saying? I got a headache from laughing at y'all. Wonder why the airbags didn't deploy. That's a good question. But don't they only... I don't know. I thought they deploy like if you make contact with the airbag directly. Or I don't know what I'm talking about. Which one? See, Fee said y'all talking too much about the real. Y'all giving him too much grace, okay? I don't know, but I thought I don't know what I'm talking about airbags. Is it when your body makes direct contact with where the airbags are, or is it when the vehicle itself makes direct contact with an object at a certain amount of force? Hey, Damien, I haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're doing okay. Oh, okay. See. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, maybe look, he said the Ford was recalled, so maybe the airbags didn't work right too. That was part of the recall. Okay, y'all tripping. He said don't do him. Okay, don't do him.
Please do not interrupt with that further so that the questioning of the witnesses may continue. You may answer.
If you say that name, I'm objecting.
Brooks.
Ooh.
And the jury will disregard the objection if it's solely for the name purposes. Go ahead.
Mr. Brooks has his hair cut close today.
What about when he took his face mask down? Did you notice his facial hair?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
He does have facial hair.
Did you notice anything different about his facial hair today versus in the video?
Objection leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
That is also trimmed closer.
She ready to jump over that table and really do a boom, boom. You thought you got boom, boom before. Okay? She ready to put the paws on you. She is sick of him.
The hairstyle and the facial hairstyle here in court today give you any pause or concern over whether or not it's Mr. Brooks in the video?
Objection.
Go ahead and answer, please.
No, not at all.
Let's resume playing at 1:23.
Objection noted for the record.
I just used somebody's phone to call for a living, that's all.
Oh, okay.
That's what I need, yeah. 1,026 to blackmail and red short t-shirt.
I'll tell you what. If everything turns out to be on the up and up, life will be good.
Now this how we know, like my good sis Fee said, ain't nothing wrong with that shoulder because somebody's arm or hand was just on his shoulder, right? Right? And then they had to place your arms behind your back, which would put pressure on your shoulder, and you laying down. You didn't say then. Darrell, you got to be lying, boo. You lying to us. You lying.
And you'll be on your way, all right?
I got it. Suspect, I presume?
Unknown. Ask him. Ask him if he knows. He was on the porch here.
Yeah, I was using his phone. What's your location? I was using his phone. You're holding this W to make sure I'm loading her down. I called my any squads available for transport? To give me a lift. That's all. I was just using his phone.
Darrell, this is Schwartz. I'm leaving WSC. Where do you need me?
Can I just sit up? I was Can I please just sit up? You have any weapons on you? No, sir. What's your name, guy? 9209. I just told her my name.
What is it?
Yes, sir. What's your first name? Darrell Brooks? Yes, sir.
Additional victims. We start on the next block.
Copy. No additional
This
victims.
matches the description of the guy that got called on who was going door to door over here.
Yeah, I was trying.
Wear your shoes, man.
I was trying to use somebody's phone.
Wear your shoes.
My flip flops is in his house.
Paused at 2 minutes and
Lord
49
have
seconds.
mercy. What y'all over here talking about? I gotta check on y'all. Right. The lies. No problem. Now, where's the SRS computer at? I don't know anything about cars, so y'all don't come for me. If you look at the vehicle, the front of the vehicle didn't compress. The damage was mostly cosmetic. The frame was still intact. That's why the airbags didn't deploy. But I thought the bumper was hanging off. Was that part of the frame? Like, I know the hood was smashed up, and I thought that the bumper on the right side, was it the right side or the left side, was hanging off from when he hit Miss, what is it, Sorensen? No, I don't know. ah, ah. You know that thing was hot. That too. Oh, the skeleton of the car. Child, I don't know nothing. Uh-oh, wait a minute.
Seconds. Did you hear the last thing said by the suspect on the ground at this point?
Objection
Yes.
leading.
Overruled.
What did he say?
Objection leading.
Overruled. You may answer.
He said, my flip flops is in his house.
Do you know if any flip-flops or any other shoes of any kind were ever retrieved from the residence that this was taking place in front of?
Objection, speculative.
Overruled. You may answer.
I did go in the house and speak to the resident there and asked if he had left shoes or outer garments or anything like that. And he said that he had not.
He was saying he just gave me a jacket.
He's identifying soft fat, lighter skin, black male, dreadlocks, red shirt, blue jeans, no shoes.
Yeah, I did go to the house. I went to that house right there, right down the street, right here.
Where you coming from, man?
I was coming from that parade down here.
Okay.
I know a friend down here.
I think that's a fabulous idea.
I can't.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Roll over on your butt.
Okay, not you.
Roll.
Now, he done admitted that he came from the parade, but when he was in there with Detective Carpenter, he didn't mention nothing about a parade. He danced all around that. Oh, okay. Right, right, right. Oh, all right, let's see. The airbags didn't deploy because there wasn't enough impact to the car to trigger them. Car versus human body. The body is definitely going to sustain. I'll consent to that. The most damage. Okay. Ooh, ooh. Now, if his shoulder was actually hurting, he would have been hollering. You know it. Right. No shoes, no jacket. But he got that $40 Cash App card, Olivia. All he needed to do was a phone so he can call his Uber. Okay? That's all. Exactly. Another thing that I noticed, which this video is going to be a good segue into the next video that I'm going to do, where I'm going to talk about Illinois v. Allen. I'm going to talk about the actual Illinois v. Allen case, and it's going to go into Yellow Shirt Day, which you guys have been asking me for forever and a day. But I was saying that to say, what was I saying that to say? Oh, I think that he thought when Judge Darrell shut him down, he felt that he was doing a good job and he was making valid points, and that was her way of shutting him up and being unfair. But when she didn't say anything to him, it meant that he was failing miserably. I think that that's what Homeboy thought. I really do. Oh my God. Oh, wait a minute. Oh gosh. Ah. I'm gonna have to go back to the beginning. I just pick random spots, but that's the next video if anybody's wondering. But I gotta do Tamir Rice first, so I don't know if I think he would have behaved differently if there was a male judge. I really don't. And that's just based off of me thinking about his control issues, his personality disorder, um, his limited knowledge about the law, him wanting to be in competition with the prosecution. I don't think it would have made a difference. And honestly, a lot of people don't like when I say it, but we all know by now that Judge Darrell had to be really careful with him because he was representing himself. So he probably wouldn't have got away with as much, but I still think he would have tried it. I really do. I think he would have tried it. It was, but you know why? I think that is because he really has nothing to lose now. So in his demented mind, I think this time he felt he had a chance. Because think about it. Up until this conviction, he's been able to get away. He only, out of all of the crimes that he's ever committed, he's only been to jail and served time one time. And that was barely a year. And so he thought he can be conniving enough. He had somebody in his ear to give him what to say every day. He trusted whoever this person was. And he's used to his mom being able to connive whoever they need to connive to get him what he needs. And so I believe he thought he had a solid chance of getting off. I do. I think that. Now, we all know that he wasn't going to, but we got to think how Darrell thinks. In his mind, he thought, okay, look, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna disrupt. She got to call a mistrial. Like something has to stick. And that's why, toward the middle and all the way to the end, even when he was being sentenced, it's like this denial. Like, this is not really happening to me. I normally get off, whatever. But now you're not getting off. You're not going to get an appeal. There's nothing else for you to lose at all. So it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna go with it. You know, I'm just gonna go with it. There's nothing else that you can fight at this point. There's nobody else that can fight for you. It doesn't matter if you represent yourself. It doesn't matter if you have a public defender. There is nothing anyone can do for you ever again but give you your three hots and a cot and maybe try to protect you from the goons in jail. That's it. Hey, Essence of Coils, welcome. Could be. Kofi, Lucifer himself.
Roll over on your butt. Roll up on your knees. Roll
And
over.
also, y'all got to remember that in Milwaukee, he hasn't gone to trial yet. He only had one outburst pre-trial before this trial. And that was because Leslie snitched on him and said he was asleep. But prior to that, he was quiet as hell. He did not start tripping until Judge Doro gave him the opportunity to represent himself. Right? That's when he really started showing out. Prior to that, he didn't do all that. In fact, I rewatched all of the preliminary hearings today. He did not do any of that mess. So it could be the same situation in Milwaukee. Okay, I'll behave for a little bit. And then when y'all give me my way, or he feels like, okay, well, I can say this or I can say that, or I feel like I can prove this person wrong, or, the whole system is against me, he might start to show out a little bit again. But for right now, he's compliant. Now he took the plea deal, so we're not gonna hear anything else about that. Right now, we're waiting on Milwaukee to assign him a public defender. Which, by the way, I learned today, y'all, that they are behind by 350 cases in Milwaukee alone. And so we have to wait and see how long this is going to go on, because remember, I told y'all the way that they assign public defenders is not just based on who has availability. They have to find somebody that took on a case that matches what Darrell is up against and somebody that has the experience. So they have to do it that way first. If they don't have anybody available, then it's just a wait game. So we have to just wait and see what's going to happen. He did. He did. Y'all know he did. Oh, so he got an attorney. They assigned him a public defender? Okay, cool. Awesome. Mhm, mhm. That's gonna be part of the next video. All of the things that he did leading up to Yellow Shirt Day when he was just ultimately defeated. So it'll be a preliminary hearing December 14th. It's just a status hearing to see if this new public defender has received all of the discovery from the prosecution and to see if they're ready for trial or if they need a continuance. It won't be a court day when? For this trial we're waiting on? Who's Russell Johnson? Is that the new public defender? Now, Damien, the last time I looked at the docket was maybe a week ago, and I didn't see that anybody was assigned. So I'm not sure. I can go on and look in a second. But like I said, the last that I looked, nobody was assigned. They were still waiting, and like I said, he has that um status hearing in December or later on this month. This is December. Hey, where you been, girl? Where you been? Good to see you. We just don't know. And like this is a felony, but again, if you have somebody who's on trial for murder, that one's going to trump this trial, and so it will get pushed down the list. And again, it just depends on availability. It also depends on the public defender if they feel comfortable with taking on, this case because they have the right to go to the judge and say, "Look, I don't think I can do this." And the judge will decide ultimately if that person has to try that case or not, but it can go on and on and on and on. Oh, today? Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Oh. He might. We gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and see. I believe that since he's gonna have a public defender this time, I don't think he'll act up. Um, so we gonna see. It's gonna be something crazy. So the thing with that is that Erica doesn't have to be in Milwaukee at all right now. They can subpoena her and make accommodations to bring her back. Or if, let's just say she went back home to Georgia and for whatever reason she can't make it back, they can ask the judge for permission to have her testify via Zoom. So she doesn't have to be here. I'm not sure why she's still here. I'm saying why she's still here, like I live in Milwaukee. I don't know why she's still in Milwaukee, but she could have gone home and just waited for them to be ready for trial. I can't wait to see it. I know. Well, I'm glad to see you, and I understand. I understand that all too well. Sparky! I missed you. How did your finals go? Oh, not get ready for work. So here's the thing. This is just a tidbit of a video that I'm working on. So you know how we have Illinois v. Allen, and one of the things that a judge can do is the bind and gag. However, Judge Doral didn't use it because for her, she felt that it was barbaric and just unconventional, I guess. And so she chose to just have the other courtrooms. But we don't know if this judge will honor that. We don't know how the technology is in this courtroom. So, it's a lot to wonder, right? It's a lot to wonder. Also, they may have the opportunity to just put him like in a holding cell, until he behaves. So we just gotta wait it out and see. I don't know, Damien. I mean, I don't want to talk badly about Erica. I really do care about Erica, but it doesn't take that long to get another ID. So I don't know. I'm gonna just leave it there. I don't want to pass judgment, but I don't know how much of that I believe. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. He took the LSAT last night. Milwaukee. Let me see. I don't know. That's a good question. I was getting ready to say something incorrect. That's which jail doesn't have Zoom capability? What Waukesha doesn't. Milwaukee does. Who knows what this fool is gonna do? I said that, Olivia, and then somebody said that she could have possibly gotten the job prior to her, or prior to him destroying her paperwork. But she does have to have an ID. And I don't want to believe that she's living her life day to day without at least an ID. And it's not hard to get all of your other documents as long as you have an ID. So I don't know. I was wondering if there was a reason why she didn't want to go home, if she didn't have anywhere to go when she got to Georgia. I'm not sure. And so that's why I just said I don't want to pass judgment or assume anything. I don't know. But I just know that's what she said. But, you know. Yeah, it may be it may be. I don't know. That's why I said we just gotta wait and see how this judge feels. But even if, like I said, if she decided to go anywhere, the prosecution could just subpoena for her appearance and they can make accommodations to get her there to testify, and then she could just go back to wherever she is. So I don't know if there's a little more to that or not, but that's her business. I don't want to speculate too much. Shut up, John. Yes. Yes. Look at you. I'm so proud of you. Hard work pays off. Yes. Yeah, Erica. I love Erica. Yeah, something just the math ain't really mathing. But again, like I said, I don't wanna, she has her reasons. She doesn't owe me anything. And so, I did hear that she had a man, so that could be that too. That could be that too, you know? Yeah. Alright, let's play a little more of this.
Roll up on your knees. Okay. 500 block of Elizabeth. Stand up. 553. 553 Elizabeth. What are you doing? Freaking back here. Did I do something? That is yet to be determined. Go in front of my squad, man. Okay. Is there anything I need to stick me, poke me, hurt? No, not at all, sir. Okay. Not at all. I don't have any weapons. Glad to hear it. Nothing like that. How did you get up over here, man? I was coming to see a friend. Yeah? Where's your friend? I don't know now. Spin your back your hand for me. You injured at all, dude? Yeah. What hurts? When they slammed me, my knee, I already have an injury.
Now wait a minute. How many cops, if anybody remembers, because y'all know I forget stuff. How many cops were there when they told him to get his ass on the ground? Now, I know it was Officer Carpenter. Who else? You really gonna stand here and say when they slammed you on the ground like they weren't surrounding you when they told you to get down on the ground? Oh my Lord.
Okay, yes. That's my ID. It certainly is. Yes. I'm so cold. I bet you are.
Paused at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Officer, can you tell us what you and any other officers were doing in that brief portion of the video?
Walking him to a squad car so he could be placed inside since he was not dressed for the weather.
What happened once you got to the squad car?
The officer whose squad he was going to be placed in went through his pockets to make sure he did not have anything that would be dangerous.
Okay. And do you know if anything was retrieved from his pockets?
Yes.
Objection.
Overruled. Her answer may stand.
There were no weapons, were there?
Objection.
No weapons.
B.
Overruled. Her answer may stand.
What, if anything, do you recall being recovered from his pocket?
ID, some cards. I believe there was a credit card in there and a car key.
Can we please play from the 4:30 mark.
Go ahead and take a seat for me, Darrell. I have a harmonic in front of me. Do you want me to bring it out? So what hurt?
Could we please show for the witness only, exhibit number 176? Do you recognize the photograph on the screen in front of you?
I do.
What does it depict?
It is still taken from my body cam footage. Those are my hands, and in my hands are the property that was taken from Mr. Brooks. You can see the officer's back at the open door of the squad, and Mr. Brooks' leg in the light there where he's sitting in the squad.
Your Honor, I would move exhibit 176 into evidence and request permission to publish.
Objection, relevancy.
Exhibit 176 is received. Permission to publish is granted. The objection is overruled.
And while we're waiting for the screens to activate for the jurors, I'll ask you, Officer Carpenter, do you know what happened to the objects that are in your hands in that exhibit?
Yes, I gave them to the officer whose car Mr. Brooks was sitting in.
You don't know the identity of that officer?
I don't. There were a lot of officers from a lot of different jurisdictions.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have.
That's all you have? All right, thank you. Cross, please.
All right, let me catch up on these comments. What y'all talking about? The sandwich. But why is Milwaukee even wasting time now? As far as I'm concerned, it's too late now. If they did their jobs 2 years ago, they should have impounded the car for evidence after he ran over Erica the first time. None of this would have happened. So, yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a bunch of cops. So what is he talking about? They slammed him on his knee. This guy is a mess. A mess. He's not embarrassed. He's not, because we're all against him. He did nothing wrong, Joanna. Who is Russell Jones, the new lawyer? I'm not saying you're wrong. I just didn't know if you were saying that was the new defense attorney, because I didn't look on the docket. That's all. Yep, effortlessly. Oh, I just don't even understand what he feels he's accomplishing while objecting to direct evidence. Had you taken the time to look through your discovery, you would know every piece of evidence that they collected and will be using at the trial. I don't know what I guess he thought if he objected to it, they wouldn't be able to use it.
Yes. At one
Uh-oh, here
point,
we go. Let's see what Darrell got to say.
you stated the suspect was wearing jogging pants. That'd be fair to say?
Yes, sir.
Were the jogging pants or blue jeans?
They were soft pants. They were not blue jeans.
Can we
They
show
dirty pants.
exhibit 80 again?
Yes, we can.
Well, yes, we can. Go ahead. Thank you.
Can you fast forward it a little bit? I'm not gonna be sure exactly where to pause it at. You fast forward just a little bit. Can you pause? Can you zoom in a little bit?
Oh, Lord, all these demands.
Play a few more seconds. Would that miss the zoom up? Would it still be zoomed in, or would it go back out?
It'll stay zoomed on that portion of the screen.
Okay.
I do want to point out that the reason why he is focusing so much on the type of clothing that he has on is because during one of the preliminary hearings with Anna Keys, she had the opportunity to cross-examine Detective Casey, and this was a preliminary hearing to see if he would be bound over for trial. And Anna Keys really, um, oh God, went hard on the clothes that Darrell had on to make sure that Detective Casey could identify him based on his clothing. And so I'm left to assume that those questions were left as a part of, I guess, the discovery, if you will. So I believe that's why he's questioning so hard about jeans or soft pants. It really doesn't make a difference. We see your face right here. You have on the same articles of clothing that you had during the rest at the hospital and at the interrogation. But he, of course, we all know every time he questions someone, he starts off with the questions that they prepared in advance, and then he goes into, his little question or whatever. So I just wanted to point that out.
Pause.
We're at 5 seconds.
55, yeah. You would describe those pants as jogging pants or soft pants, as you say?
Yes.
And you stated that when you
But those look like jeggings. Those look like jeggings to me. Set me free. I had on soft pants. Oh God. Oh. Girl, I just can't imagine. I just wonder how many days he had it on. And then, like I said earlier, just the sweat, when you, what is that? Fight or flight, you sweating like a maniac, right? So you funky on top of the sweat, on top of it. So when he went to the hospital, do y'all think they put him in a gown and he was funky? And then when he got discharged, he had to put them funky, musty clothes back on and lay down on that cot in that holding cell. And then, his feet still sweating and everything. And they took him to that interrogation room. Oh, God. What I don't get is if he thought, even for a second, oh, excuse me. What I don't get is if they why can't I read? What I don't get is if he thought even for a second that he had a shot of getting off, why didn't he spend more time, any time learning proper court procedure? Because, Damien, we know the answer. Do you have a mortgage or a lease agreement? Take that out and tell me if you can comprehend everything. And it's no insult to you. I'm just saying, can you comprehend everything in it? He knows that he can't comprehend that stuff. The law is so hard to interpret. You have to have a love for it to even be patient enough to understand even the legal terminology, you know? So this is not something he's passionate about. He just did enough to get by. He, I think, is maybe more of an auditory learner. And so I think it just helped him, quote unquote, helped him for somebody to tell him things and he was just able to repeat it. I don't think he's able to read anything and comprehend it. So, no, that's not something that he's going to ever be willing to do. That's too complex for him. It takes up too much time. Mind you, he only had 3 days, right? So, of course, that's not enough time to sit there and try to learn anything at all. That's in those case files, that's in a discovery, none of that. His lawyers, his previous lawyers even wanted more time because they knew how complex this case was, right? So no, no, he knew it was too much for him and he was just winging it. I'm going to read the report. That's the best I can do. He couldn't even read the reports, and reports are not really written in any type of legal jargon. It's just, an interpretation based off the person that's writing it. But he had a hard time just interpreting that. So, he couldn't do anything like that. Mm-mm. Okay, Sherry. What you talk about with his lawyers? Yeah. So it was the first. So he had his first appearance when he was in a turtle suit. The second preliminary hearing was when he had on the red jumpsuit, and they called Detective Casey to the stand. Detective Casey was instrumental in providing the probable cause for them to bound. They call it bound over for trial, meaning that based on the evidence that is presented, we have enough evidence to send you to trial. And so both sides get an opportunity to question whatever witnesses that they have at the moment, which at that point was Detective Casey, and he went through the whole thing about how he drove down the parade route. Initially, he was going 5 miles an hour. He was able to, identify him based on the facial hair, his demeanor, and the clothing. And then Anna Keys had an opportunity, and she focused on that for a good 10 minutes about facial hair, about his hair being long. Was it down? Was it in a ponytail? What color was his clothing? Did you see anybody else in the car? Could anybody else in the car have been wearing what you said Mr. Brooks wore? Like, she really honed in on that. And that is why he did that, because she did that then, but it didn't work then. So I don't know why he's using it now. Okay. The commissioner, the guy that had the white hair, the commissioner basically just shut her down. It didn't even go anywhere. That made no sense. So I don't know why he's using it now. Oh, yeah. So I think at one point they said that they had a court reporter over there to transcribe everything that was taking place. They had to. They had to. They had to. Now, I know in one of his cases in Nevada, let me see, was it Nevada? It was either, hold on. It was Milwaukee or Nevada, where they actually did not transcribe any of um the hearing, and so I think they got in some trouble for that, but yes, they had to. So, from my understanding, they had a court reporter over there that was able to transcribe everything, um, and that's part of the reason, most of the reason why these transcripts are taking so long to turn over to this attorney who is gonna try to see if they can get him an appeal. Those things mad long. Russell Jones. Thank you, Debbie, for checking for us. Uh, oh, yes. Boom, boom. I ain't gonna ever forget boom, boom. Girl, those are jeggings. Hey, Beverly, how you doing? Yes, exactly. And yep, all the times I think that he got away, he thought, I didn't do anything wrong. They didn't have enough evidence on me. They couldn't prove that I did what they said I did or whatever. And so I'm let go. He got away so many times that he just developed this complex. I'm untouchable. They don't know what they're talking about. I didn't do anything. They don't have any evidence. Erica is a liar. The system is against me. I got mental illness. And if y'all don't believe me, ask my mama. She'll tell y'all. Put this on his pocket. Nasty. Hey, Mika. Yes, girl, Jaggins. Yes, he is 30. You know it was. Lord have mercy. Just stop. Okay. Right. I'm pretty sure, yeah. That public defender has so much to catch up on. Now, I'm just wondering, had they called in like any other type of experts because I'm pretty sure their defense is going to be that he suffers from some type of mental illness. That's the best that they can do for him because there's no rhyme or reason why you feel that you need to put the pause on somebody repeatedly and, run over them. Um, and so they're probably going to have to get all types of experts to testify on his behalf. That's going to take some time. They have to petition the court for monies to do that. And on top of that, they have to find somebody willing to evaluate him and testify. So, yeah, we're probably looking at next year or maybe even the year after, honestly. Yeah. And I think Daniel Ryder, like you said, he's just a good person. You got a lot of people that just wanna see the good in people, and you got a lot of people that haven't been exposed to some of the things other people have been, and so if you don't know any better, you don't know any better, and so if I saw well, not me personally, but, like, somebody like him or just other people, you see somebody walking around, without the proper clothing on and I guess ultimately trying to be nice, you probably would try to help them, I guess. I don't know. Now, I do wanna get my hands on the transcripts, okay, because I wanna know everything that he said when he was on mute, especially during jury selection because he was really going off during that time. So, I hope they probably won't be available, though, until after, they get a decision on his appeal, so we just gotta wait it out and see. Oh, stop it, John, stop it! Right. Yes. We know, Fee. Oh. Hey, Debbie, I hope you're feeling better. Yes. Yes. Walmart Crocs? No, I'm talking about the gel Crocs. Don't they give you the orange gel Crocs when you get those? You gotta be in jail first, I guess. What'd he say? He had depression, PTSD, sickle cell anemia, which I know that's not a mental illness, but I'm just saying that's what he said. Bipolar, child anxiety, everything. Oh. Um, no, no, they don't have to drop the defense. So the purpose of uh a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or a mental health specialist would just to offer proof of the claim. But anybody can go in and say, okay, yeah, I slapped her because I suffer from rage. It doesn't mean that you have to have somebody to speak on your behalf. It's just something that you're claiming. Yeah, I'm not guilty because she pushed me to be so angry that, I became enraged or, I have I don't know, DID or PTSD from being spanked as a child. And so every time I'm placed in a position, where I become angry, I think back to when I got whoopings back in the day and that's how I lash out. So no, you don't have to have anybody testify to that. That's just your specific claim. He can use whatever defense he wants. It's up to your attorneys to decide if that will be beneficial for you to have someone to testify on your behalf. And the reason why it makes sense is because if you think right now, yeah, at one point he had an insanity defense, but the defense never hired any type of specialist on his behalf. And it was probably because they couldn't find anybody to support his claims. But yet he still wants us to believe that he has mental illness, right? So it wouldn't have mattered either way, you know? We gonna have to get him. And listen, y'all supposed to be my ride or die. So if y'all find him, let me know so I can get him. And it's not a competition. I ain't saying it like that. I'm just saying, sometimes other people see things before I do. So I would really like to have them so I can review them and we can discuss. I don't know if they're gonna release him, Olivia. I have to do a little bit more research on that, but I don't think that they're going to. If they were going to release them, they would have done so already. So I don't know. I have to do a little bit more research, but I don't think that they're going to. Oh, good. That's good to hear, Debbie. Oh, right. Wait. Okay. The Rona. He had the cut on his arm, and what else? The bruise. He was a little tender. Um, Let me see. The knee injury, the shoulder injury. Um, Let me know if I'm forgetting anything else. Dead. So the evaluations that he had done were to see if he was mentally, no, legally competent to represent himself. That's what that was for. It was not for his insanity defense. That's what that was for. He did not have his defense attorneys did not hire anybody to evaluate him for that insanity defense. And that's probably why he dropped it, because originally he thought that he could use his personality disorder as a defense for NGRI. However, in the state of Wisconsin, if you're going to use ASPD as a defense, it has to, what do they call that? Commingle with another disorder, like bipolar disorder or any type of mood disorders or schizophrenia, something like that. He doesn't have any of those. And I believe that's why he dropped that defense and just said, forget it, I'm going to represent myself and act a fool. So there's a difference between mental competency and being legally competent. Yeah, we won't get those, unfortunately. It depends on what you define as mentally challenged. Like a learning disability, it depends. Now, there have been people who have been able to successfully get off if they've had mental, if they've mentally challenged, or, in fact, one person, he didn't get off, but it's a landmark case. It's Miranda v. Arizona. And I know you heard of that. That's what our Miranda rights were formulated based off of that. But he had a learning disability, and he was interrogated without understanding what took place. But there have been cases, and I can write it down on my list if you want me to look some of those up so we can talk about it. Just let me know. Ain't nobody about to lie and lose their whole license for him. Okay. Uh-uh. Yeah. I don't think so, John. I don't think so. I don't think they can use evidence in his previous trial. They would have to get new evidence, especially based off of whatever discovery they have with this pending trial. So that is what this new defense attorney would look up and then decide based off of that. So the thing that will work in Erica's favor is that there's a history of domestic V, but we don't know how much of it is documented. So again, if he is trying to use any type of, you know, mental disorder, mental defect, they would have to hire, if they can, different specialists to evaluate him. they're not going to use something from a previous case. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yep, he's just a little tender. I'm gonna go back and double check, but from what I saw, they were to he had to be evaluated to see if he could represent himself. But if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I will go back and double check. Shut up, John. So sick of you. Oh goodness.
You parked your car where you parked your squad on Elizabeth and West. You hooked up with 2 other officers,
Yes,
and those officers had long guns.
yes.
Can you explain what a long gun is?
Shoulder weapon, rifle, or shotgun.
Do you recall if it was a rifle or a shotgun?
I did not examine either weapon closely.
Are you done with this exhibit, sir?
Yeah, for right now, yeah. And you made reference to finding sandwich, credit cards, things of that nature in the pants, correct?
Uh-oh.
Correct.
Oh, there we go.
I found the sandwich while you were laying on the ground.
And you also stated that you found a credit card and things of that nature. In fact, would it be fair to say that that's what was in your hand on Exhibit 176?
Do you need the exhibit to answer? Do you recall?
There were, I don't, thank you. There were what appeared to be credit cards and ID and a car key.
And they were in your hand, correct?
They were.
So would it be fair to say you also found those and not just a sandwich?
I did not pull that stuff out of your pocket, sir. That was a different officer. I did hold it while he finished searching you, sir.
So you obtained that the credit cards and all that from a different officer?
Yes.
Did you find anything else?
On your person, I was not the person searching you, aside from the sandwich while you were on the ground.
So as far as your search, you just found a sandwich? Correct. And at the time, do you recall why the suspect was being detained?
Yes.
And what was the reason?
Because you matched a description that was broadcast over the police radio of a suspect involved in the parade incident.
In this report, did you write it yourself or did another officer?
I wrote it.
Do you recall writing that the suspect was being detained for investigative purposes?
Yes.
Any reason why you wouldn't state what those purposes were in the report?
Yes, because at the time we had contact with you, I was not fully aware of the circumstances.
Well, would it be fair to say that you just stated why the suspect was being detained?
That I just stated why this, I'm sorry, what was the question exactly, sir?
Would it be fair to say that you just stated when asked why was the suspect being detained at that moment? You answered, that moment. Yeah, yes. At that moment that you detained the suspect. You stated because they matched the description of someone involved in the parade.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
But then you stated that you just stated that at the time you weren't fully aware.
I knew that people had been hurt. I knew that shots had been fired. I did not know how many people were hurt. I did not know by what mechanism people would be hurt. I did not know the magnitude of the injuries. I just knew that something violent had happened.
So it'd be fair to say you weren't in the known of a lot of information at that point.
That's true.
Grounds.
Overruled. Her answer may stand.
Would it be fair to say that you were being heard in Exhibit 80, stating that if everything was on the up and up, you would be on your way?
Yes, sir, that's correct. That was me.
So would it be fair to say that was an inaccurate statement if the suspect fit the description of something that happened in the parade?
Not at all.
And what do you mean by not at all?
I mean, sometimes people look like someone who did something and turn out not to be that person. But that was not the case here.
So as far as
She shouldn't have said that, because you know where he getting ready to go with that one. Yeah. But you know what? I don't even think, I'm thinking back to the preliminary the preliminary hearings that they had. Let me take these headphones off, because Lord, I'm tired of that. And he, you know, they did the change of venue, and that was denied. And so then they asked Judge Darrell for a little more time, and she said no. And so I'm wondering if they ever, I don't know how that worked. I got to look that up some more. I don't know if they even ever had, if they had a chance to have him evaluated, honestly. He's so trifling, because he had Erica's EBT. His mama gave him a piece of change before she went and laid her butt down. And you got that free sandwich. Just a mess. You should have took that money and put it in a tank. The couple of dollars that she gave you that morning. He only felt bad for himself. Debbie, that's what we trying to figure out. So we said egg sandwich, PBJ. Somebody said turkey and Swiss. Somebody said bologna. We trying to figure out if it was toasted, if it had lettuce on it, mayo, or mustard, and was it sliced? Right. There you go. What type of bread was it on? Was it a hoagie? You know, we need to know this. Mhm. I told you he can't comprehend anything. Tired of him. What's no? Oh. PBJ? It might have been. We should go back and look. Like, I couldn't tell. I just saw the paper. See, he even wrapped it up in wax paper for the man. And you put it in your pocket. The disrespect. As high as food is. Excuse me, Mr. Ryder. You may not know me. I have a YouTube channel, and me and my crew desperately want to know, you know, on the night of November 21st, what was it? 2020, was it 21? 2021. What type of sandwich did you make for Mr. Darrell Edward Brooks Jr.? Did you slice it? Did you toast it? We see you wrapped it up in the wax paper or whatnot. Did you offer him something to drink as well, or he didn't have enough time? He should. And a little bit of tea. Yes. What type of tea you think he had? Hibiscus, black tea, green tea? Y'all a mess. A sensation out here in these streets, okay? Oh, God. A thin layer of mayo? Okay. Okay. Was it sliced diagonally or straight up and down? What you think? We know feed tag. You won't let us have a little fun. Dang.
far as you knew at the time, it could have been mistaken identity.
It could have been, but it was not.
Well, at the time, it'd be fair to say at the time you didn't know.
At the time, I did not know.
Did you give the suspect any of that information?
Objection.
Grounds.
I'm not sure what information he's talking about.
Sustained as to the form of the question. It's vague.
Did you give the suspect any information on why they were being detained?
I said, actually, it wasn't me that said that. It was another officer that said that, and I can't tell you who it was because I don't know. While you were being put in the car, you were informed you were being detained for investigative purposes, which is an answer that's appropriate for the circumstances.
So it would be fair to say that that's not really all that informative.
I did not have a lot of information to give you, sir.
Keep saying you. Who are you referring to?
You, Mr. Brooks.
Brooks.
Darrell Brooks,
Brooks.
seated at the defense table.
Any reason why you wouldn't tell a suspect why they're being detained? Essentially being that if you take someone into custody, they should know why they're being taken into custody. Wouldn't you agree?
I can't give you information that I don't have, and I wouldn't want to tell you the wrong thing. That wouldn't be fair.
So why would a suspect be detained without any information to your knowledge?
Objection.
Grounds.
Asked and answered.
Also calls for speculation, vague. Sustained as to the form of the question.
So would it be fair to say that you can detain a suspect without them knowing why they're being detained?
Objection. This
Grounds.
calls for legal analysis, not factually relevant.
No.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Would it be fair to say you initially responded to the 500 block of Elizabeth because of a report of, I guess you would call it a trespassing report?
I would more put it under the heading of suspicious behavior under the circumstances.
So is that why you were initially dispatched to that area for suspicious behavior?
Yes,
And do you recall when you got the report of shots fired?
I believe that was one of the first things I heard over the radio before I was even there.
Do you recall ever finding out where the shots fired came from?
Eventually I did.
Do you recall in your reading report writing that when you had arrived at Elizabeth and West and parked your squad and began to walk down the street, that you had your firearm in your hand?
Yes.
Did anyone hit by the shots?
At that time, no. I did not know one way or the other if anyone had been hurt.
Did you?
Had been hit. I knew people were hurt.
Do you recall the area of where the shots fired was at, the general area?
The general area, somewhere in the vicinity of the parade.
Is Elizabeth and West in the general area?
It's a few blocks away.
And you did state you didn't find any weapons on the suspect, right?
Correct.
You find any shell casings, or
No,
do you have any reason to believe that the shots came from the suspect?
I did not know who had done shooting. I had heard a report of shots fired. I did not know by whom, as I've said, sir.
Any reason to believe that the shots came from the suspect is what I'm asking.
We answered you.
I did not know.
And you stated that upon seeing the suspect on the porch, that they were
Gesturing? Yes, sir.
and you also stated that in your written report that it was in the upper 30s that evening with the brisk wind. Would that be fair to say?
It was
Pretty
upper
cold.
30s, lower 40s, somewhere right in there. It was cold. I was cold.
Do you think that maybe the gesturing was because the suspect was cold? Grounds.
Calls for speculation.
Overruled. She may answer if she's able.
I didn't know.
Do you recall checking the general area around the house that you found the suspect?
Yes, sir.
Did you find anything around the house? I guess I'm referring to where you wrote in your report, you checked the likely path of travel.
Yes, sir. I do recall that. No, we did not find anything.
And do you recall checking the pockets of the coat worn by the suspect?
Yes,
Do you recall how the suspect obtained the coat?
I recall what I was told.
So it'd be fair to say you wasn't sure if you were only told this information. That'd be fair to say?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
you made reference to saying you only know what you were told. So it'd be fair to say at that time you didn't know unless you were told.
Didn't know what?
How the suspect obtained the coat.
I asked the resident of the house you were at. Actually, I believe he volunteered to me that he had given you a coat to wear.
And you checked the pockets of the coat?
Yes.
And did you find anything?
I did not find anything.
At what point did you learn that the suspect who was being detained would be arrested?
At some point later.
And it was another officer's vehicle that the suspect was placed in, correct?
Correct.
And when did you leave that scene?
Not for hours.
Why so long?
Because when there is a crime scene that potentially spans blocks, everything needs to be searched for evidence. Witnesses need to be located, because once things are gone, things are gone. So it has to all be done right the first time.
Did you write your report that evening?
I believe I wrote it the next morning.
So it'd be fair to say after you had learned a little bit more information, then you wrote the report?
That would be true, yes.
In the video, the suspect gave you his name, right?
That's correct.
What is your name?
Brooks.
Is that right when you handcuffed him, if you recall?
Right around that time, yes, sir.
And did you talk to any other witnesses that evening besides the owner of the home that you saw the suspect?
No.
In the hours that you stayed on Elizabeth, did you talk to any other witnesses at all?
No, I looked through a few yards and mostly maintained a perimeter for a search.
Do you recall why you looked through a few yards?
Searching for evidence.
Do you recall what evidence you may have been searching for at that time?
You know, a lot of times you don't know until you find it.
So do you recall what maybe you might have been looking for, a weapon or anything like that?
That would have gotten my attention. Yes, absolutely.
Did you find any weapon?
No, sir.
Did you learn any knowledge of any ring video footage that evening?
I don't recall if I viewed the footage that evening or the following day. I did at some point view that ring footage, yes.
So you were aware that night that it was ring footage?
I believe I was aware of it that night. I don't believe I watched it, but I can't say with certainty.
And do you recall initially responding to Clinton Street and Broadway first?
Yes, sir.
And do you recall why you responded to that location first?
Because they was
See if I
looking
could
for
help
your
anyone.
ass.
About how long?
Sick of him. What y'all over here talking about? Earl Grey. Oh, rabbit meat. That's too much for me. What's vision? What is that? Venison? What's that? Lobster roll. A lobster roll sounds good. I'm so hungry. As if he didn't know. Like, what were you expecting them to tell you? Because if they would have told you right away, then what? Did she say Darrell? Wait, how she said Darrell? Hold on, let me think. I don't know, child. I forgot. Hey, I'm glad you made it. I know you said you wanted to make us alive. How are you, dear? What that lady call him? How she pronounce Darrell? Darrell. I don't know, child. That whole sandwich is expensive. Bread and all of that lunch meat. We don't know if it had cheese on it. Child, I'm not doing nothing else with you tonight, okay? Mm-mm. Oh God. uh, oh, deer meat. Who eats deer meat? My sister-in-law eats deer meat. My husband. Both of my sisters-in-law eat deer meat, and I don't want any parts of it. Mm-mm.
Did you stay there before responding to Elizabeth?
Just a few minutes.
No further questions.
All right, thank you. Any redirect?
Referring specifically to the time that you placed the handcuffs on Mr. Brooks, remember that time frame?
Yes, sir.
I don't consent to being called that name.
So
Yes,
through
I do.
She is through
Do
with
you
him.
recall how Mr. Brooks ended up on the ground as that was happening?
I do.
Could you tell us about that?
Objection. Saw in the video.
Overruled. The
It
witness
wasn't
may answer.
bone bone.
We instructed him to put his hands up and then to get down on the ground.
Did he comply with those instructions?
He did.
Did you or any other officer have to put hands on Mr. Brooks to get him on the ground?
Objection.
I don't consent for
Speculative.
that.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
No, sir, we did not.
After he was on the ground, that's when the handcuffs went on?
Objection.
correct.
Leading.
Overruled. She may answer.
Your answer again was,
That's correct.
at any point after the handcuffs went on, did you or any other officer throw Mr. Brooks to the ground?
Objection. Leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
We did not.
How did you treat Mr. Brooks as you moved him from his prone position on the ground to the squad car?
Objection.
Overruled. She may answer.
As the video shows, he was instructed, let's call it the path of least resistance, to get up off of the prone position, eventually to his feet with a minimum of discomfort.
Did you successfully achieve that objective?
Objection. Speculative.
I'll rephrase.
Are you able to answer?
Yes,
Go ahead.
in as best as one can stand a person up when they have their hands handcuffed behind their back. Yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may step down.
She probably don't remember. Ah. Is it? I'm scared. Kangaroo, what? Mm. All right, so I will play, let me see, the next officer, but only Darrell's cross-examination. Isn't this when he got mad because the officer kept looking at the jury? Hold on, let me see.
Any use of force directed towards Mr.
Brooks, during which time I found some cards in his right pocket that had his name on it, as well as a black Ford. You're going to have to be more specific.
Oh,
Do you recall
Sustained.
Loose.
hearing that stated that?
You're going to have to be with my finger, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a little hard to see, can you describe that key as you recall?
As I recall, the key was a single key. I don't recall there being any keychain to it. It was a fob type that had some buttons, and it had a Ford emblem on it that indicated that was a Ford key.
Okay. What did you do with these items after you, well, strike that. Should ask a better question. Did you eventually get these items back from the officer who was holding them?
Yes.
And what did you do with them?
I took custody of them until they were ultimately turned over to Detectives Stern and Detectives Carpenter.
All right. Do you remember Mr. Brooks asking you why he had been detained?
Objection. I don't consent to being called that name.
Overruled.
Yes.
You may answer, sir.
Yes.
Do you remember specifically what he said?
I recall that he had questioned why the police were handcuffing him or why the police were detaining him.
Did you reply?
Yes.
What did you tell him?
I told him that he was being detained as he matched a description of a subject involved in a crash in the downtown area.
Did you say anything about the parade?
No.
Okay, thank you, officer. I don't have any other questions for you.
Any cross?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Do you recall speaking with Officer Moss that evening?
Not distinctly. There might have been some radio traffic between me and him at one point.
So it'd be fair to say that radio traffic, you guys spoke.
I can't tell you if I had direct contact with him or if I just recall him airing particular pieces of information.
Do you recall any particular bit of information that was aired by Officer Moss?
You're going to have to be more specific.
Do you recall Officer Moss airing that he had spoken with a potential eyewitness who indicated that they had observed numerous suspects run from the vehicle?
Objection, hearsay.
Grounds.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
I recall Officer Moss airing that to the officers responding in general that there may have been more than one suspect that had ran from the vehicle.
And do you recall if that aired information? Wait a second, back that up. You just stated that there may have been any reason.
Did y'all hear that? Mushmouth is a fool. Did y'all hear that? What y'all talking about? Fried squirrel. Crocodile. I heard crocodile was good, but I ain't never had it. Oh, back that thing up. Okay.
The air information said it had been that he had spoken to a potential eyewitness.
Objection, hearsay, and
Grounds.
false or speculation as to the words of another person.
Grounds.
Sustained. Rephrase your question.
Do you recall any air information of description?
Yes.
Do you recall what they were?
Objection, hearsay.
Grounds.
You're asking him the description of the suspect leaving the vehicle?
What he heard aired.
Overruled. He may answer.
Not what he heard aired.
I recall there being a description of either a light-skinned black male or possible Hispanic male wearing a white shirt, as well as the potential of a white male with curly brown hair.
Do you recall what you did after hearing that air information?
Yes.
What did you do?
I responded to Officer Moss's general location, at which point he requested that a perimeter be set up. So I responded further south to set up a perimeter to attempts to keep those people within the confines of that perimeter.
Do you recall what general area that was?
You're going to have to be more descriptive to what general area are we talking about here?
The area where Officer Moss was.
Officer Moss was at 338 Maple.
Is that the area that you responded to?
Generally, yes.
What do you mean by generally?
I was driving to the residence when he asked that a perimeter be set up.
And do you recall where you set that perimeter up?
Yes.
And where was that?
It was loosely around that residence as well as to the south and to the west.
What streets were to the south and to the west?
Numerous streets.
Well, I'm referring strictly to your perimeter that you set. Do you recall which street you set your perimeter?
I want to say that I was probably the southernmost squad at that time, and I was at Southwest and Wood.
While setting up your perimeter, did you receive any more information about the suspects who fled from the vehicle?
It was all kind of at the same time.
Do you recall being advised that the male black had possibly fled southbound and that the male white may have fled in the westbound direction?
Your Honor, I object. Move to strike. He's providing statements and facts that are not in evidence. They're based on hearsay.
The question was,
Put your hand down.
Do you recall being advised that? That was the question. Does he recall being advised?
But you reading off the report.
Still hearsay. Sustained.
So who were you advised by?
Officer Moss.
And do you recall what you were advised?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained. Next question.
Grounds for the sustain, Your Honor.
Next question, please. Hearsay.
What's that hearsay? And how did you end up
Definitely
being
not
dispatched to the
hearsay.
500 block of Elizabeth Street?
I heard another officer error that they were listening to Waukesha County communications indicating that there was a person going door to door in the 500 block of Elizabeth Street.
I'm sorry, you stated you heard that?
Yes.
Would that be like hearsay?
Only if it's being offered for the truth of the matter asserted. If it's just explain what he did next, then no.
That was the same question I asked before, you remember?
It would.
And upon arriving at Elizabeth Street, you stated that there was already a suspect being detained at the moment that you arrived?
No.
So what did you observe when you got to the 500 block of Elizabeth Street?
I already explained that upon getting there, I traveled westbound on Elizabeth Street till it ended, at which point I turned around and came back. So when I initially got there, I didn't see anything.
Did you observe someone being detained at gunpoint?
Not upon initially getting there, no.
Not initially. Did at any time you observe someone being detained at gunpoint?
Yes, I already said that.
Do you recall what they had on?
Yes.
You state for the record and for the jury what they had on?
They had red t-shirts and blue jeans.
Blue jeans. Were they jogging pants or blue jeans?
It was
Appeared to be
jagging.
blue jeans.
And do you recall why the suspect was being detained at that time?
Yes.
And what do you recall about why they were being detained at that time?
You were being detained for involvement in a crash in the downtown area.
And when the suspect was detained, do you recall stating that you were confident they were either the driver or passenger of the vehicle found at 338 Maple?
No, I never said that.
Did you give a report about what happened that evening?
Yes.
Did you write it yourself?
Yes.
So I'm reading from your report right here that you just stated that you wrote. Do you recall saying, I was confident that Brooks was either the driver or passenger of the striking vehicle?
That is in my report. However, you asked if I said that. I didn't say that. That's more or less an internal dialogue with myself saying that I felt confident that you were the suspect, either the driver or passenger in that vehicle.
So it'd be fair to say at the time of your report, you were confident that it was more than one person in the vehicle?
No.
So why did you write the report in that fashion?
I was confident that you were involved with that vehicle and with the crash in the downtown area.
So would it be fair to say that you couldn't have written your report in that fashion instead of the fashion that you wrote it?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
Sustained. That's the form of the question.
Any reason why you were referred to a passenger?
Yes. Initially, there was reports that multiple people fled from the vehicle, from the area of the vehicle.
And because of those reports is why you wrote your report in that fashion, or in the fashion that you wrote it.
Objection asked and answered, argumentative.
Grounds.
Sustained is to the form of the question.
So when you observed the suspect being detained at Elizabeth Street, at that time, did you know the suspect's name?
No.
And you found a credit or debit card when conducting a search?
Yes.
Do you recall where you found that credit or debit card?
Your right pocket.
In Exhibit 176, where it shows someone holding the credit card. Was that you?
Was what, me?
Holding the credit card?
No.
But you are the one that found it?
Yes.
And what else did you find?
A Ford car key. Vehicle key.
And where did you find that?
Your right pants pocket.
You play Exhibit 80 for the witness.
Stay able to do that, please? The entire
Can you-
video or just a part of it?
I'm guessing.
So I think that the highlighted portion of the report is what his attorneys already did. And I think that they wrote a list of questions, potential questions that they would ask before it starts to get silly up in here with him. But that's all that is. Yeah, so. But John, I do want to ask you really quickly, and it's kind of off topic real quick. Last time, I was going over the next video that I wanted to do, the Tamir Rice video, And I had made a statement saying that, what did I say? I felt that police should respond to active shootings differently than what they did with Tamir. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the case itself. And you said that you disagreed respectfully. Um, and you said that it had to do with your previous job or something to that effect. I know it's been like 4 or 5 days, so you probably don't remember. But if you do remember, can you tell me why so I can jot that down and just use that with my research if you don't mind? And if you don't remember what I'm talking about, that's okay. Or if you want me to explain more, I can.
Guessing around the 4 minute and 50 or something, somewhere up in that area.
That's the last 10 seconds, sir. Is that what you want?
Yeah, somewhere up in that area.
You know what I think pissed him off was the fact that the state had full control over the exhibits and when to stop, start, rewind, zoom, and he had to ask for their permission to stop, start, zoom, rewind, pause, freeze. He didn't like that, and I see it on his face now. It never occurred to me. He can't stand it. He has to ask them to do something for him. He feels as if he should be able to control that. But what he fails to understand is that it's their evidence. So yeah, they're in control of it. You have a copy of it because by per the law, you're supposed to be privy to everything that they have, but you're not in control of it. It's not necessarily your evidence, but it pisses him off to have to ask Sue Opera to press that button, okay, and find what I need you to find. He hates that. Look at his face.
Take a look at it. Is that where you want us to start? Or farther back?
A little further back.
Thank you, Miss Gussie. How about there?
Uh,
436.
a little further back. I'm sorry. Maybe, yeah, wherever it's at right now, 409. Can you play it from there real quick?
Hold on, let me catch up on these comments. Sorry. You chicken ass what? What's that in the background? It was Juvenile. Back that thing up. That was the hood anthem, and it still is. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but hey, back that thing up. Maybe you should YouTube it because I can't play it on here. Oh, Zach can't stand him. Zach can't stand him, and I love it. I am going to do the rice case on, okay, what's today? Monday night. Tomorrow, I got to work my little part time job or whatever. So I'm going to do the rice case on Wednesday. I'm going to play the body cam footage and I'm going to go over what the policy is for an active shooter call in the state of Ohio, which is the state that I reside in. And of course, give my commentary, and I expect to lose some subscribers because they're not going to like what I have to say. But the facts are the facts, and you guys should know by now that I am not an emotional thinker. And to me, when it relates to the law, being fair is somewhat subjective. So what's fair to me may not be fair to someone else, and that is quite okay with me. However, being the person that I am, I'm going to say what I want to say, how I want to say it. Okay. So that's just what type of channel this is. So anyway, I will be going over it Wednesday. You know, I don't agree with how any of that went down, but we'll get into that on Wednesday. On Thursday, let me get my notebook. On Thursday, I will talk about the investigation of the Tamir Rice case in detail. And if I am not too tired, I will do another Darrell Brooks video. If I am too tired, then I will save the next Darrell Brooks video for Friday. That'll be the Illinois v. Allen case and use that as a segue into the yellow shirt day. And then Saturday, if you guys are up to it, we will do another live on Darrell Brooks. Excuse me. Oh, nothing's fair. You ask them, and then come back, and then I'll I'll shout you out. So, from my understanding, John, they did not ask him on a loudspeaker. Tamir was sitting at the table minding his business, and they pulled up on him. When he saw them pull up on him, he got up. They opened the door, told him to put his hands up, and immediately shot him. Unfortunately, the body cam footage is very grainy. There is no body. That's not body cam footage. I'm sorry. The surveillance from the rec center is grainy. There is no body cam footage. There is no audio. So it's really hard to ascertain exactly what happened. But this is just based off of the information that we do have available and what our eyes have seen. So to me, I'm off topic, I know, but to me, I don't feel as if they should have rolled up directly on him, especially since you got a call that there was an active shooter situation going on. Furthermore, I don't believe that 2 cops responding to an active shooter was enough. And just based off of other videos that I've seen when there have been people who were in possession of real guns, they were given more than enough opportunity to surrender to police. So, this is just some of the thoughts that I have based off of reports that I read. It is absolutely not fair. It is absolutely not fair. You did? Oh, Debbie, take one for the team and be like, excuse me, Mr. Ryder, please, we are not making light of what happened when that man showed up on your doorstep, but we just need to know what kind of sandwich, what kind of bread, how was it sliced, what was the sauce, the condiment that you put on there, please. Oh my God. Okay, well, I do it. Y'all want me to do it. Youngstown, hey neighbor. I live in Columbus. I asked him, Debbie. Do y'all think he gonna respond? What was John over there saying? And what was he saying? You don't have to be wrong or right, John. I mean, like I said, I do respect, contrary to what people believe about me, I do respect everybody's opinion. But what I don't like is when people tell me my opinion is wrong or they try to sway me into thinking or believing what they think or believe. That is the only thing that I don't like. But I am open to anybody having whatever opinion that they have. Okay. So don't feel like that, and I understand you've had training. And so the training that you have is not the training that I have. I'm not a law enforcement officer. So naturally you would see things differently. Oh, Daniel. No, he was sitting under the gazebo when they pulled up. When they were pulling up, he did get up and started to walk over to the cop car, and they opened the door very quickly, and they say that he was reaching toward his waist, and then that's when they shot him. So he was sitting down when they pulled up. You think who will what? What you talking about, girl? You know I'm behind in these comments, so I don't know what you're talking about. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate you. All right, let's go back to this real quick.
You want the sound, I take it?
I don't really think the sound is necessary. More so the visual.
Playing from 4:15.
Do you remember this video?
No, I don't. I didn't. That's not my body cam video.
Pause. Go back like 2 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you once again for doing that.
Is that this touchscreen, right? Is this right here the credit debit cards that you found?
Oh, that's a shadow.
I can't tell what that is.
Can you clear that?
Madam Clerk, please and thank you.
Thank you. Can you go back maybe 2 more seconds? I think it's a clearer shot.
For the record, Your Honor, it's not that easy to just jump back 2 seconds. I mean, if he has a specific time, we can jump to a time.
How would I know if I've only seen the video once?
That's your fault.
Why is it that big of a deal?
Mm.
Can you play from right there? Right there.
Right there.
435.
Now it's on 437. We started
Can you
it
pause it
at
at 435?
Right, it was started and then you said pause, and obviously it takes time to do that, so. The record should reflect that Mr. Brooks has drawn a circle around something on the still image. Go ahead, ask your question.
The record should reflect consent to that name.
Oh, you did, Debbie. Wait, hold on. I gotta push pause. You did what he say. I hope he responds. Girl, what you say? What you ask him? You think he gonna respond? Oh God. Why I'm nervous for you? Oh, this is hilarious. Well, if he was reaching, it would make sense. I mean, in the meantime, it takes to think. Oh, John, I don't know. I mean, the only thing that I feel about it is that the information that was relayed to the 911 operator was that the person who made the call said that it was probably a toy gun and that he's probably a juvenile. And the 911 dispatcher did not let law enforcement know that at all. She was just suspended. Okay. So I can kind of see both sides of it, but it's still just I don't know. I'll leave it at that. It's just yeah. No, Debbie, he wants y'all to see his credit card and that Cash App card that he had the $40 on to get his Uber. Okay, wait. Hey, you. Them jaggins and them dirty ass socks. They did. But see, the thing is that it wasn't properly relayed that it was potentially a toy. And so I can understand where John's coming from a law enforcement perspective. You don't know. And law enforcement, they're trained to respond and react and quickly. And so in their minds, I can't give him an opportunity to pull this out. So I can understand from that point of view. What I don't understand, and again, I don't have any specialized law enforcement training. I don't understand responding to a call of they call it an active shooter, somebody with a gun pointing it at other people. I would not have pulled up directly on that person to give them the opportunity to draw a weapon on me. That is me as a lay person saying this. Okay. That is my perspective. So that is why after we watch the surveillance footage, I want to read what the proper policy is per the state of Ohio as it relates to responding to an active shooter situation. All right, let's see what Debbie said. Hi, congrats on your marriage. I'm a YouTube follower on some sites who review the Brooks trial, and we are all curious about the sandwich you gave him. Oh Lord, what you think he gonna say? Oh, that man probably like, what? How long ago was that? They trolling me. Mm, yeah. And see, the gun did not have the orange tip on it. And honestly, he didn't even have a chance to pull it out for them to decide. So, like I said, I mean, I understand your point of view, John. I really do. It's just like I said, as a lay person, I don't see it just didn't make sense. Yeah. But again, I'm going to read the policy. We're going to read the policy. We're going to read the policy and see what it says. And then I can better formulate my opinion of it. And again, this is just my opinion. It's not, right or wrong. It's not fact. Of course, I do provide the facts, but then I'm going to have an opinion about it as well. And it's not going to be emotionally charged. So, and everybody's opinion is welcome if you choose to watch it or not, whatever. But
Around the 4:35 mark, you can see whoever's this is holding the credit card, debit card. Is that you?
Objection. That assumes the fact not in evidence, Your Honor.
Sustained. Rephrase your question.
Can you clear that?
Madam Clerk, please. Thank you.
You said that you found a key. Where's the footage of you finding the key?
I don't have a body cam, so there's not going to be video of my body cam.
So if you were wearing your body cam, it would have depicted what you found during your search.
No, the city of Waukesha did not have body cams during this incident.
So it'd be fair to say there is no footage of you finding a key. Grounds.
It's argumentative, and he's already said he was not wearing a body camera.
Actually,
he can't know possibly. It's speculation. He can't know possibly.
Actually, he said the city of Waukesha didn't have body cams. He didn't say.
Right. It's sustained. It assumes facts not in evidence and calls for speculation on the part of this witness. And there's also lack of foundation as to this witness.
The foundation is this mysterious key he said he found.
The jury will.
Darrell, that is not no mysterious key. Now, why you doing this now? Come on, we all exhausted at this point. You know that's not no mysterious key. Now, y'all should see how my face is frowned up. Why he playing these games with us like this? Is he trying to say that they lied and said they got it out of his pocket, but the cop planted it? Like, where are we going with this now? I'm getting tired of this now.
That statement made by Mr. Brooks, it's not his time to testify. You will have an opportunity to do that later if you choose.
I don't consent to being called that name for the record.
Brooks. Clerk, you can take that off.
At any time that evening, were you able to detain any other suspects?
No.
After the suspect was detained, do you recall how long you stayed at the scene?
Which particular part of the scene?
Where you had detained the suspect.
At 553 Elizabeth Street?
Correct.
Off my best estimate, I was probably there for about 25 minutes.
And what did you do in those 25 minutes?
During those 25 minutes was time detaining you, as well as briefly speaking with the homeowner, and ultimately turning you back over to detectives.
Mentioned that you had sat
Yes.
Around the area of where Officer Moss was located?
Yes.
And how long did you stay at that perimeter?
I'm not 100% positive. Extended period of time.
Do you recall why you were dispatched back to that perimeter?
At that time, there was a possibility that there may be another party involved. So as the investigation was still ongoing and they're attempting to determine if there was another party involved, the perimeter was maintained so that no one could squeeze out through that perimeter and flee.
Do you recall there being ring footage of the residents of 553 Elizabeth Street?
Yes.
Did you view those? Did you view the ring footage that evening?
No.
Did you view the ring footage at all?
Yes.
Are you aware of what happened to the ring footage?
A copy of the ring footage was emailed to me by the homeowner. It was ultimately placed on property inventory at the Waukesha Police Department.
Do you recall if it was multiple videos?
It was, yes.
Do you recall at about 1640 hours? I don't know. Would that be 440?
Yes, that's 440.
Do you recall directing traffic at the intersection of Barstow Street and Corina?
Yes.
And did you recall an officer airing anything over the radio at that time?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall what that was?
An officer had aired that you had driven around his barricade or into the parade route.
You. Who you refer to as you?
You, Darrell Brooks.
And you knew that at that time?
Not at that time, no.
So how would you say you?
Throughout the investigation, it was determined to be you.
Do you recall it being any other air information at that time?
Yes.
Do you recall what that was?
Objection, calls for hearsay.
Grounds.
Are you offering it for the truth of the matter asserted or for some other reason? Otherwise, it's hearsay.
For the truth of the matter, I'm asking him, does he recall what was aired on his radio?
Well, then you're asking him to testify to hearsay, so it's sustained.
Do you recall an officer indicating that the vehicle was continuing westbound and possibly blaring his horn?
Objection.
Grounds.
Same objection, Your Honor. He's attempting to testify and offering hearsay statements into the record.
I'm not attempting to testify.
Sustained.
Grounds for the sustain.
For the reasons the state indicated.
Do you recall?
You can ask the witness if he heard any horns at that time. That would be different. But what someone else may have reported would be hearsay if it's offered for the truth of the matter asserted.
Well, I'm reading from the report that he wrote.
That doesn't take away that it's hearsay. If it's in the report and someone else said it, it's actually double hearsay.
Do you recall hearing about a vehicle blowing its horn?
Objection.
Grounds.
Same objection, Your Honor.
Overruled, he asked if this witness heard. That's how I heard the question. I think that's what you were asking. You mean at the,
Did you hear about a horn?
What did you hear, Your Honor?
Lord have mercy. Sue Opera done sat up here and had to correct the judge. What the judge doing? She must be ready for lunch or something, huh? She ain't heard nothing that's going on. You. Who is you? Because he is the lawyer. He went to Harvard, Cornell, and Yale. And y'all not going to tell him that what he's doing is wrong. We the ones don't know what hearsay is. Not him. Not him. It's us. We in the wrong. It's us against Darrell. Okay.
if the question was, did this witness hear a horn, then that witness may answer the question. Did he hear about a horn? That's different. That would be hearsay. So why don't you rephrase your question, sir?
Did you hear a horn?
No.
And just so we're clear, I assume that your question meant when he was at Barstow and Carino, because that's where he was positioned.
Correct.
Right? That's what you meant?
Yeah.
Was that your understanding?
Yes.
Okay. Very well. Next question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other questions for this witness?
Yeah. Any reason why it would be in your report that the vehicle was blaring its horn?
Same objection, Your Honor.
Grounds.
Assumes facts not in evidence. Calls for hearsay. Sustained.
Have you read the complaint in this matter?
No.
Have you seen the complaint in this matter?
No.
You yourself filed a claim in this matter?
No.
You know of anyone who filed a claim in this matter?
Objection.
Here we go.
Overruled. He may answer if he knows.
No.
Do you recall whom subpoenaed you to testify here today?
The state of Wisconsin via the Washoe County District Attorney's Office.
You said state of Wisconsin. Who would you be referring to when you say state of Wisconsin?
The entity that is the state of Wisconsin judicial system.
So the state of Wisconsin is an entity to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Is an entity a living, breathing human?
Objection.
Grounds.
Irrelevant, argumentative.
Sustained. Next question.
Do you know if the state of Wisconsin is the plaintiff in this matter?
Yes.
An entity is the plaintiff?
Objection. Argumentative.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Have you ever had any interaction with the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Irrelevant.
Grounds.
Sustained. It's also overly broad.
You ever had a phone conversation
Objection. Irrelevant.
with the plaintiff
About this case,
about this case?
overruled. You may answer.
No.
Have you ever seen the plaintiff in this case?
Objection, Your Honor.
Grounds.
This entire line of questioning is completely irrelevant.
Grounds.
Sustained on relevance grounds. Next question, please.
No further questions.
Thank you. Any
Good God. We got one more officer, y'all, and we only gonna listen to Darrell's crossing, and we gonna peace out. What's this say? Oh, poor thing. And she probably hungry. What if she did see my channel? Y'all. Mama, I made it. Hey, did y'all notice she participated in the Waukesha Christmas parade the other day? It's on Facebook. Oh my goodness. All right, let me fast forward to, let me see. What the heck is going on here?
Your determination, Your Honor, that you're not going to answer that?
Your request is noted for the record. I've already addressed it.
Is it noted for the record? It should be noted for the record. Also, that's it.
What y'all think he think the record really is? What y'all think? Uh-oh.
Okay. So on that evening,
Sleep, you probably sleep, you probably wasn't.
Both you may answer.
I know that.
Both you may answer. Overruled, you may answer.
Well, for sure, if
Oh.
back in the cell, holding cell.
did you turn off the lights for him?
Objection, leading.
Overruled, his answer may stand.
And were you relieved by another officer then later that morning?
Objection, relevancy.
Overruled, you may answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. I don't have any other questions.
Hey, Cross.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said that you recall checking every 30 minutes on doing like well-being checks, right?
That's correct.
And how do you know for sure that the suspect was asleep?
I don't know for sure if you were sleeping. I know that the cover was over your head, and I would, every time I go and check in on you, I could see that your chest was rising up and down from underneath the blanket. So it's a possibility that you were sleeping. It's a possibility that you weren't. I know that you're under cover, so it appeared that you were asleep most of the night.
So it'd be fair to say you're not sure.
Answer stands, Your Honor. It's asked and answered.
Objection.
Overruled, you may answer.
Could have been sleep. You probably asleep. You probably wasn't, but the blanket was over your head.
And do you recall why the suspect was not allowed a phone call?
I was told that you had to wait for Detective Jay Carpenter to talk to you.
Do you know if that's standard practice?
Not sure if it's standard practice or not, but just following his instruction as if because he was going to be doing some investigation.
Would you say it's fair to say that usually a suspect being detained is allowed a phone call at some point?
Relevance.
Grounds.
Relevant, sir?
Grounds.
No. Why do you believe it's relevant?
Why would contact to the outside world be restricted?
All right, it's I'll rule that it's not relevant. Sustain the objection. Next question.
Do you recall what time you got to, I think it was, you said, the hospital to pick up the suspect?
Yes, I left at 12:10. I got to the hospital around 12:18.
To the best of your recollection, do you recall being given any information at that time about the suspect being questioned?
I don't recall if I was given information on you being questioned at that time.
And you referred to a police hold room inside of the hospital?
That's correct.
So it's not unusual for someone to be detained in the police hold room inside of the hospital?
That's correct. There's an active investigation going on.
So would that be the only time if during an active investigation?
Usually someone from the outside coming to the police hold room, yes, for an active investigation.
And do you recall where in the hospital this police hold room is located?
In the hospital.
Do you recall where in the hospital is located?
Usually by where the police officers park their vehicles through the ambulance bay, straight ahead, and it's the second to last door on the right.
To the best of your knowledge, do you know if those police hold rooms have cameras?
I'm not sure.
Before that particular incident, had you ever been in the police hold room in that hospital?
Yep. Yes, sorry.
And you stated that detectives informed you that they would need to speak with the detainee before any phone calls would be made.
That's correct.
To the best of your recollection, did they explain why to you?
Objection, relevance.
Grounds.
Calls for speculation.
Grounds.
I'm sorry, calls for hearsay
Grounds.
and speculation.
Are you offering it for the truth of the matter?
Yep.
Sort of? Then it's hearsay.
Yep.
And the detainee was turned over to an Officer Paulson after, I'm guessing at the end of your shift.
That's correct.
Do you recall if the cell the detainee was sleeping in that night had cameras?
I'm not sure.
Do you recall who did the booking process at the Muskego Police Department?
Yes, I believe it was Lieutenant Andrika and Officer Klink of the Muskego Police Department.
To the best of your recollection, do you recall why one of those officers weren't doing the well-being checks?
Because you were in our custody.
Do you recall when you did your report? The date of it?
I don't recall the exact day I did my report.
Was it that same evening or was it sometime after?
When you say the same evening, what date are you talking?
The same evening or morning that you ended up having to do the well-being checks at the Muskego Police Department.
I don't recall if I did it that day, but it most definitely was done shortly after.
Shortly after, meaning a few days or a week or so?
A few days.
You don't recall if it was the 29th of November of 2021?
I don't recall.
When you were dispatched to the Waukesha Memorial Hospital, did you observe any FBI agents at the scene?
At the scene of the hospital?
Yes.
No.
So to the best of your recollection, it was only the two detectives that you made contact with?
Yes.
Can you explain what the mobile audio video recording system is?
It's an in-squad camera that records outside of the squad car, so like in front of the squad car in the prisoner compartment. And it's a microphone that we put to our vest or on our person to record audio statements.
So it records and it's video and audio?
Correct.
Did it record the detainee during your transport?
Yes, it did.
Besides the statements that you made reference to, did you observe or hear anything other than those statements?
What do you mean? Can you clarify it for me?
Did you observe anything strange or while the recording was taking place?
I don't know what you mean by strange.
Like, did you notice any strange movements by the detainee? Anything that would alarm you in any way?
Nothing that would alarm me, no.
Did you know the extent of the investigation at the time you were dispatched to Waukesha Memorial?
No, my only task was to transport you to the Muskego Police Department.
No further questions.
All right, we done with that. You know what's funny to me is the fact that Darrell thought being a lawyer simply meant just reading off of a report and seeing what response he could get. I really think that's what he thinks that this is, and just objections. Let's see what y'all talking about. And then we about to peace out. What is he talking about? Fine. He was nice to look at. And nice build too. I might need y'all to help me. If y'all can remember all of the times that Leslie snitched on Darrell, if y'all can remind me, because I want to put together a video of all the times that she snitched on Darrell, starting from the one preliminary hearing when she told Sue Opera that he was over there sleeping. I think that'll be a good live. And honestly, if I can get that done by Saturday, that could be our Saturday live. Now, what did I say? Because I forgot. I said Wednesday, Tamir Rice. Thursday would be Illinois versus Allen. and Yellow Shirt Day. I'm lying because I work. Wait. I work Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday is Tamir. Friday is Yellow Shirt Day, Illinois v. Allen. And then Saturday would be, if I can get it done, either Leslie snitching or I don't know. I'll find something else. His hair is really nice. Hey, Vera. Because George Darrell is up there taking a nap. She is tired of this, okay? He probably ain't going to respond. We going to keep our fingers crossed. But, I appreciate your bravery. We going to see. Is there any video that you guys want me to do of Darrell Brooks? You think he had a fire stick back there? I just want to know how he got a big TV up in there and then, like, he had the extension cord. How did you close the door? Because extension cords are thick. And then it ran to what part of the house? And then where did you sleep at? Did y'all see the car? Like, once they impounded it and took it in for evidence, it was a hot mess in the back. I cannot. Oh, y'all let me know either on this thing or somewhere else if y'all have any suggestions. Y'all been waiting on your little shirt day, and I think I should be able to get it done. Because if y'all ain't got nothing else to talk about, we about to peace out. Let me see. I think I wrote that on my list, and I don't have my notebook down here. I think I wrote that on my list. I have like 3 pages of cases that I want to do. So I'm more than positive I wrote that down. It is very sad. So I want to get Tamir done. I did do Khalif, but I just didn't have enough information because his case is still sealed. So I couldn't do anything with that case, except for just drop the links for the documentary, and then I just did my recap. So Tamir will be next, and to coincide with Darrell, and then after that, somebody in the comments asked me to read Sarah Boone's letters, which I know other channels have, but I don't mind reading them if you guys want me to, and just kind of giving a little legal commentary on that. So those are the next 3 that I have coming up before I scratch them off of the list, and then we'll move on from there. I think somebody else was talking about OJ. It may have been Olivia. Um, I do have OJ, but I just don't know when I'm going to do that one. Tamir Rice. So Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old little boy from Cleveland, Ohio, who was in the park with his friend and his sister, and he was playing with a BB gun that did not have the orange tip on it to distinguish it from a real weapon. And a passerby went to the rec center and saw Tamir with the gun and called 911 to report it. And during the call, he did mention that Tamir was most likely a juvenile and that the gun was probably a toy. However, the 911 dispatcher did not relay that information to law enforcement. And excuse me for sniffing so much. She dispatched the call as a code 1, which means respond with high priority. 2 officers in the same marked car pulled up to the park, and Tamir got up from the gazebo and was walking over to the car, and the officer unalived him. So on Thursday, I will be playing the surveillance video from the incident. It is grainy, but it shows us enough of what we need to see. It's not gory or anything like that. And then I'm going to read part 1 of the investigation, and I'm going to, go over the policy for responding to an active shooter situation in the state of Ohio. So that'll be Thursday. Friday will be Illinois v. Allen and Yellow Shirt Day, Darrell Brooks. And then Saturday, if you guys don't tell me what you want to do, I will just randomly pick something for a live. It'll be Darrell Brooks on Saturday night. So I did put up a community post. If you want to respond to that or not, it's up to you. Or I can just choose something either way. But it is 11 o'clock, and I do realize that a lot of you guys have to go to work, so I don't want to hold anybody else up. I do appreciate you guys for joining me tonight. I know it was a surprise live. I did have a good time like we always do. I do appreciate you guys so much for engaging with my content, liking, sharing, commenting, all of those great things. I appreciate everybody for keeping it positive over here. And I do want to say that I appreciate you guys for trusting me and valuing my opinion the way that you do without, what can I say? Without, I guess, making me feel bad for having an opinion that's different from uh what other people may feel. I also appreciate you guys for continually showing up, even though there are a multitude of other channels who cover Darrell Brooks. You guys show up every time and make my lives very fun. So I do appreciate you guys so much. I cannot tell you enough. We are at 690 subscribers. I've only had this channel almost 2 months. And so it is truly, truly appreciated. I can't tell you enough. So I'm gonna stop ranting. I hope everybody has a good night. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week. And I will catch up with you guys on the next live, which will be Saturday night at about 8 o'clock. So y'all be easy. Peace.